Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President and CEO of the National Business Aviation Association, Ed Bolen.
Well, good morning and welcome everyone to NBAA's 65th annual meeting and convention. We're all delighted that you're with us here in Orlando. I know a number of you had to make extraordinary efforts to be with us today, and I know a number of people have family and have friends who are in the Northeast and are concerned about Hurricane Sandy and its impact. And certainly our thoughts and our prayers are with everyone there. But we're very excited about this year's convention, and we're very excited for a number of reasons, not the least of which is we have an opportunity today to dedicate the 65th annual meeting and convention to Neil Armstrong, a naval aviator, an experimental test pilot, an astronaut, and an American hero. Neil Armstrong was, among other things, a very humble giant. Neil Armstrong never sought the spotlight. He didn't even enjoy it. But when responsibility called, when challenges arose, Neil Armstrong always stepped forward. That was true for our country, and it's certainly been true for our industry. All of you remember several years ago when the automobile manufacturers came to Washington, D.C. and asked for a bailout, and it led to a torrent of negative publicity about business aviation. And we needed to find some way to respond to that. We needed some way to get the word out that business aviation was an essential industry. And one of the most effective ways to get the word out is to have a spokesperson who is well known, who's recognized, who's trusted, and whose integrity cannot be impeached. Among those that we turned to was Neil Armstrong. And I remember when we asked Neil Armstrong if he'd be willing to be NBAA spokesman, it would be fair to say he was reticent. Neil said, "You know, I very much value my privacy. I enjoy being a private citizen. In fact, I have turned down high seven-figure offers to be a spokesperson." And we said, "Neil, we're not offering high seven figures. We're offering zero. But what we are offering is an opportunity for you to step forward and to make a positive and very powerful statement about an industry you love, and you can protect and you can promote jobs from people you care desperately about." And of course, the response was, "All right, I'll do it." And so we were able to do print ads with Neil Armstrong. One of my favorites was when he said, "You can do conference calls, you can have emails, but there's nothing like being there. Trust me on this." And we always did trust Neil. You know, when we asked Neil to be part of that No Plane, No Gain program to serve as our spokesperson, I mentioned that there were a couple of people that we looked at and thought were uniquely qualified to speak for our industry because they were people at the highest level of our country who had respect, who had integrity, people who were authentic, people who were the real deal. We actually wrote up a list of 3 of them. The first name on the list with Neil Armstrong was Arnold Palmer, and we also added Warren Buffett. When we put those together, we said, you know what? These are 3 of the first and foremost people of our time. The next thing we knew is our ad creative person, Greg Hobson, turned that into a pretty effective ad. Arnold Palmer, Neil Armstrong, Warren Buffett. Pretty good spokespeople for our industry. And as we're here today, taking the opportunity to dedicate our annual meeting and convention to Neil Armstrong, I'm very excited that we have with us Arnold Palmer, our first spokesperson for the No Plane, No Gain program. Could you all join me in recognizing and extending our appreciation to Arnold Palmer? You know, Arnold Palmer and Neil have an awful lot in common. They both very much love golf. They both very much love aviation, and obviously they were both spokespeople for the No Plane, No Gain program. But recently, they added something else in common. 2 months ago, Arnold Palmer was recognized with the Congressional Gold Medal. For those of you who don't know, it's our nation's highest civilian honor. You know, only 6 athletes have ever won or earned the Congressional Gold Medal. Arnold Palmer is one of those 6, and he joins Neil Armstrong as an American icon, a true legend and a valued member of our community to win that award. Congratulations, Arnie. You might also remember that they have something in common in that they are master pilots. 2 years ago, in 2010, we had an opportunity to recognize what we thought were 5 of the leading figures of our time in aviation with presentation of the Master Pilots Award at the NBAA convention in Atlanta. The award is presented for those people who have 50 years of flying experience accident-free. And we found a couple of real legends to add to the screen. We brought them back with us today. In addition to Arnold Palmer, we've got Russ Meyer. For 35 years, Russ was the head of Cessna Aircraft Company. He's won the Wright Brothers Memorial Trophy, NBAA's Meritorious Service Award, and he is a member of the National Aviation Hall of Fame. We also have with us Clay Lacy, who retired from United Airlines, #1 in seniority. He's done almost all of the filming for aviation movies and advertisements. Clay Lacy last year won NBAA's Meritorious Service Award, and he too is a member of the National Aviation Hall of Fame. And finally with us today is Gene Cernan, commander of Apollo 17, the last man to walk on the moon, and another member of the National Aviation Hall of Fame. You know, Neil Armstrong was an engineer. He was a pilot. He loved airplanes. He loved technology. He loved machines. But more than anything else, he loved people. He loved the people of this industry. So we think it is fitting, as we dedicate this today, to have with us 4 people who were with Neil on stage in 2010, the class of master pilots, the gentlemen you have before you. Let's give them another round of applause. Thank you, gentlemen.